This meeting is being recorded.
Thanks, Jesse.
Great. Thanks. Does anyone have privilege of the floor that they want to say anything? You could raise your hand or.
No Zoom hands.
Okay. We have on the agenda tonight two things, which are sketch plan review of two potential minor subdivisions, one on Slider Hill Road and one on Speed Hill Road. And we might have some discussion then about the checklists that we've been talking about. That's what I've got on the agenda. So Bob, you want to talk us through the minor subdivisions?
Okay. Let's see. You've got a property on the highway, and the property line, instead of crossing that highway, 79, will now end at 79, and that the 3 acres on the other side of the highway will merge with an abutting property.
Okay, so we're looking at the maps.
Mm-hmm. Let me get back.
Do you have a camera on us?
What's that?
Do you have a camera on us? I just wondered for people there. Can they see us?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good. Okay, so we have the maps now. So I see the highway. And what are we talking about?
Oops. Oh no.
Are you trying to share your screen, Bob? I can give you,
Oh,
do you want?
no, I'm not. I don't have my laptop here. I'm just joining on my personal computer.
Okay.
All the documents are online. And I guess, yeah, I could go online. I've got the documents here. Let me see if I can. No, I don't really know how. Can I share my screen with you guys?
I can give you that if you'd like that. I can give you that ability. Okay.
And I'm looking at my screen for, share. There's a green arrow that says share.
And you have to, whatever you want to share, you have to have it opened already.
Okay, well, it's on another screen, but then I can't. So it says not now.
Okay, we'll just, then people have the opportunity from home. They can go to the town website and look at these maps. And we have the maps here. So, Bob, just describe what the concept is.
And what's this? Screen sharing. Oh, I see. Stop screen sharing. Can you see a map now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But, okay, you can. Great.
Oh.
You just don't have that on.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Oh my gosh.
That's because you have your back to it. Because you're not a nun, you can't see out of the back of your head.
This should improve things dramatically.
I thought we were trying to prevent just for you.
Yeah.
Great.
And,
Hi there. Okay, so good. So Bob, explain now that we have this map.
okay, this is the property here, and I don't have the so 20. I don't remember the address, but they are going to. This property line crosses the highway and includes 3 acres on the other side. The plan is to have the property line in here, and this line here will disappear, and the property will merge with this adjacent property here.
Okay.
And I know there's been a lot of concern about, is this truly a lot line adjustment or a minor subdivision, the surveyor who did this suggested I had it as a lot line, a minor subdivision. He said it's a lot line adjustment, and it does meet the definition. Now, I'm going to see if I can open up other map. Okay, well, here's a good map. It shows the addresses. 2775, that will be the buyer, and this light blue line will disappear. What happens technically, for us, it's a one-step process. You're moving a lot line, 2 lot lines, actually, because this one disappears. But the attorneys and the surveyors the surveyor surveys this lot because it will be merged with that one. And the attorneys have to do, what's the word? The meets and bounds for the deed. So
Yeah.
It could be, if you approve this as a minor subdivision, this could be a separate lot, but the application is for a lot line adjustment. So you're approving this means then the owner has permission from the town to go and then register this is a separate lot from this, and this merged with that one. But that would take place at a real estate closing. It's not something that we do here tonight. It's a permission. And I've talked to the assessor's office about this particular case, and I will email them after our meetings and let them know when we have when we have minor subdivisions or lot line adjustments, what to expect. But also they are supposed to, and in this case, they didn't do it. The title is supposed to say lot line adjustment. So Gene, when you sign this survey map, if you would write lot line adjustment on it, that takes any question of this property here being a separate lot and being able to be sold as a separate lot.
Okay. What I have, the map that I have looks to me like it's only the piece on the, which side of the highway is that? The south side of the highway, not the piece from the north side.
Right.
The map that we have.
Correct. The north side piece won't change, except the highway is the property line, and that's the highway right of way has always established that line.
It's the north side that changes, not the south side.
I mean,
North side stays the same, other than it's been subdivided.
Right.
Even I happen to respectfully disagree that this is a lot line adjustment. This is purely a subdivision because section 204 says the action results in an additional lot being created, therefore it's classified as a minor subdivision. And there's 2 lot lines being adjusted. One is along Route 79.
Right.
And the other one is not being adjusted. It actually currently exists, which is next to the other parcel. So what we're doing is we're creating a parcel that can be sold to the person next door. This is clearly a subdivision, and we don't have enough information to do a subdivision review. So I would not be voting for, just in case you want to keep track of how many votes you have, I'm not voting for a line adjustment.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you have any questions?
Oh, I have a great many questions.
Oh.
And namely, so it seems to me if we're just taking these 2 and turning them into one big one, is that the gist of it? We're just removing the line in the middle
Yeah.
and turning the 2.
Pull this chair over and I'll show you. We're doing.
Apologize.
Okay.
Today's my first day back to work.
No, we can go back to the map.
I worked late and I forgot about it.
We put that map back.
Go back to the map. Okay.
I'm just trying to say this is a lot line
One
adjustment
big
for a
one?
minor subdivision. And so, Bruce got here, so we're gonna explain to Bruce. Bruce, the piece that's on the right-hand side and the piece that's in blue with the blue line, that's the lower piece of that is one lot right now. And what they want to do is take the piece that's on the left side of the highway,
This is.
away from the piece on the right side of the highway, and take away, and then merge those two pieces.
One
One on the left,
Rid of that line?
right now, it's part of the one on the right.
By this lot.
Right, the one on
That's what I'm
the,
missing.
one on the left, the lower part
It's
is part of,
the new
is
thing
part of
that's
that.
desirable.
And they want to,
It's old as this.
take that away, and then they want to merge the piece on the lower part with the piece on the upper part, which is a different owner, into one.
That does feels to be like.
And there's,
So it'll be the same owner after this merge?
no, I think it's gonna be sold to the guy who owns the top part, I think.
Yeah.
Then that doesn't, does that?
So,
This is not a lot line adjustment. That's something that happens once this person owns both lots.
I mean, it seems to me broadly, if this used to be the property and
Yes.
it's gonna be this and then something else, is that not a minor subdivision?
I think it's a minor subdivision too. So Bob, why do you think it's not a minor subdivision?
Because it is not creating another lot, period.
Yes.
It
It is.
is not. No, your actions tonight give permission only after the transfer occurs. I mean, there has to be a real estate closing to create that parcel. Right now, you'll make your decision. Nothing changes tonight. It has to go and do a real estate closing. And then the town is given permission for a lot line adjustment. It has not given permission for minor subdivision. So you haven't granted them permission to create that as a separate parcel. The permission you're giving is only to merge that with 2775.
But so when there is a real estate closing, does that in and of itself create this parcel then? Or do we approve something separately then if they want to build on it? How does that, it sounds like it creates a new thing.
Well, the closing occurs and then it's registered as what was agreed in the closing. And I've talked to the assessor's office about that and they agree that's how it works, but I don't know how to explain it other than any lot line adjustment is if the area is large enough, it will create another parcel, for a split second before it's merged, theoretically. So if this doesn't meet your definition, no lot line adjustment will. Unless it's a very small and
Just
land can't be
presented one to this board
Mhm.
that had a lot line adjustment with a parcel with a half an acre of land that was behind another
Right,
lot, had no road access. The only thing that could happen is I was creating a landlocked parcel that was not buildable. It clearly met all the requirements of what lot line adjustment. And the only time that lot line got adjusted was whenever the new owner went to the assessment office and petitioned them to create all one parcel, which is exactly what has to happen here. So the owner of 2875 has to go to the assessment office after they buy the new parcel, and then they do the lot line adjustment since they erase that lot line. That's how that happens. It doesn't happen by anything that the review board does.
That's correct.
Well, the
You're
review
right.
board is allowing a separate lot to be created, and that lot is on the south side of Route 79. That's what we're doing. Whenever the lot line between the two parcels gets obliterated, that happens as a complete separate parcel project that we don't have any part of.
It
So
would be
what-
nice if we had an attorney here to explain it to you. I don't know how else to do that.
Well, I'm trying to do the same thing for you, Bob, and I
Yeah.
even invited you to my house. I don't know what to tell you.
so what I'm hearing you say is that by doing this, we're creating the parcel on this side, on the
We're creating two
On the
parcels.
right-hand side,
Two
yes,
parcels, right
Yes.
and left.
Yep,
yes,
When they were all one parcel
that's
before.
what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Taking one parcel and making it two, isn't that?
I,
Something,
is there a problem with us doing it as a minor subdivision?
Yeah, I guess that's my question too, is like, what the hang up for me, is if the assessor says it's one thing, then it feels odd for me as a non-professional
Right.
go, well, the assessor's office doesn't know how lot line adjustments work.
I don't think the assessor knows that law either.
So that's, I guess that's the question, right, with the uniqueness that, quote unquote, if you will, of our zoning law. If we come back to them and say, well, for us, it's a minor subdivision, then is the assessor's office gonna live with that? Or is the assessor's office gonna say, well, it needs to be a lot line? And if not, what's the issue, what's the problem with making it a minor subdivision?
I don't think it's a problem. If, you know, it gets purchased by the abutting property owner, it would be the same.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, then I guess we're calling it a minor subdivision around here.
That's fine. But, you know, the surveyor was the one who first told me that it was a minor subdivision. I mean, a lot line adjustment.
Well, if he feels that strongly about it, he's got our Zoom link.
But the only difference is, you know, $100 fee.
No, that's not nothing.
There we go.
We have a law, and unfortunately, we're trying to have everybody follow the law.
Yeah. I read what you had said and I kind of agreed that I thought this was a minor subdivision too. So Bruce, you have any questions?
No, and it just seems to me that that's what it is if you're taking
Yeah,
2 lots.
I think so too.
We have spoken.
We could be wrong, but that's where we seem to be. So what this is we're not making a decision tonight, we're having a sketch plan review. So at the next
We can't
meeting,
have one,
right,
because we don't have all the information for a minor subdivision.
right.
So we're off a month.
Okay.
Well, it's next month.
Information are you lacking?
Say that again.
What information are we lacking?
Lacking.
You make it a minor.
Sure. Actually, Bob has a nice list here that he did for the,
So the submission that they put in says that it's a lot line adjustment, but I don't have a problem if we make that into a minor subdivision.
Okay. But the map would have to be, some notes would be added to the map, the survey.
so what is, your checklist says, Bob, they need to complete the application. They need to propose the use of each lot. They need to have all new created lots require an actual field map survey, need contour lines on 2 feet intervals. We need a short environmental assessment form. We need a title plat minor subdivision. We need identification of current zoning and any proposed zoning changes. We need a narrative that details the allowable resident densities and average lot size. We need a narrative detailing any development within the ag rural district. We need proposed locations of all building envelopes for each lot. All contiguous landowners are permitted for construction for a water treatment system. A note on the plat stating on-site water supply as flow capacity and portability are not guaranteed by the filing of this map. Location of all driveways, an ag data statement in the review board to require any additional information. So there's a number of things that we don't have. So we can't do a sketch plan review tonight.
Right, I think we would have to do a sketch plan review next month.
Well, you know, most of what you read out is irrelevant information. No, there are no lots planned for the northern lot. There's a barn and a shed there. So
That's all true. We've had many subdivisions, minor subdivisions come to us without any buildings shown on it. We know how to deal with that. But they need to provide us a lot of more information than what we currently have. There's no ag data statement, there's no EAF, which are the 2 big things.
mm-hmm.
I just want a semantic issue. You mentioned building envelope. And so we discussed last time.
Sure.
By the definition in the zoning law, that is the buildable area.
Right,
So we can change that language next time, but I just wanted to
Yeah.
point that out.
That was the point I was making to Bob is,
Okay,
since we're going to be talking about buildable areas, on the north side, there's a bunch of wetland over there in floodplain.
Yeah.
So we need to be getting all that information for this. This is a big deal.
Well, I have that information in the office. You got about 200 feet from the road to where the wetland starts up where that barn is. And then it gets closer as you move east. You could put a house there, but if no construction is proposed, it doesn't matter. It could be all wetlands.
Here we were with our discussion.
To sell their land.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay, so I think what we should do is say, I think you should make a motion that you think that this is a minor subdivision rather than a lot line adjustment, and we have to have a sketch plan review next month.
we need more information to have a sketch plan review.
Yes,
And as soon as we have it, we can schedule a
right.
meeting.
Are you going to require the entire area to be resurveyed?
Yeah,
So we have, in the past, we haven't required that
oh, you mean this
on
side?
the north side.
Yeah, no, I don't think we have to.
In the past, we have not required that.
Well, then we shouldn't do it now.
No, I don't think we should do it now, but I think that it has to have the things that we are requiring in it, like where the wetlands are in this part.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the part that's on the,
For what?
Because we have to
So,
know what size the building.
Bob, I would encourage you to listen, to watch the last month's meeting with Nan, so you can be clear on why we need all this, and we're not. But she was very clear to us that we need to be figuring out where development can take place every time we see a minor subdivision.
yeah,
Nan's not an attorney. I disagree with a lot of what Nan told you. She was training you for major subdivisions where you have many lots laid out. This is not the same use. The proposed use is not to build multiple houses over there, is it?
I mean,
We're talking about the north side, what is?
The north, yeah.
Bruce has a question.
Because that's being subdivided.
Don't we still have to know what size is buildable on the lot?
I think we do.
I think we do. That's what Nan talked about,
That's what.
whether it's minor or major.
Even if no one's building there.
You need to know that it is or isn't.
And whether building's being proposed or not, you're supposed to.
Yeah, we know that a building isn't being proposed, but we should know what's there so that we know
What can be built.
what can be built.
Well, 200 feet, that's enough. I spoke to the DEC about this very thing, and I don't understand your reluctance, but go ahead. Go ahead, require. So to do that, you're going to have that whole map resurveyed for the 2-foot elevation. And
That's
no
what our law
development
says.
is planned there.
So then the owners can ask us, the applicant can ask us to waive it,
Right,
but we don't waive it just because somebody thinks that it's ridiculous that we have that information.
yeah.
Well, go for it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And the applicant could do that before we meet. Could submit it in writing to us. Is that necessary? And it was very clear from what Nan said, that we need to not just waive something without having a request.
Exactly.
So,
I spoke to Ann when we were having communication problems in the meeting, and we were talking, and I pointed out, if no development is planned for an area, there is no need for telling someone where they can't build a house. If the property is going to be for recreational purposes.
So I feel very strongly strong as I can feel about something I know is inconsistent, as little as I do. I feel strongly that has some merit. The idea that anytime something is being created, any two parcels are being shifted, that anytime that happens, we have to get a laser focused detail of what could be built there seems like a huge extra burden to me compared to the idea of simply transferring property. Once somebody goes to build something, they can't just walk out there one day and start building because the review board said some time ago what was buildable, right? Like, don't they still have to come and request from the town to build things? Like, isn't there a
they have to get a
process?
building permit.
Yeah.
And so I guess my question I have is how much are we determining what's buildable from that moment? Are we from that moment on and decreeing that anything can be built in that area?
No,
Then why do we need to?
I think the only reason we need to at this moment is because that's what our law says.
That's a lot to ask for
Well,
something.
but it's not a laser focused, it was,
I guess it's just if they go out and resurvey for a little bit, I recognize that we have I'm just thinking that if every time something gets adjusted like this, like I think a major subdivision is worth this level of concern, right? And this level of what's a better word for it, but
Yeah,
for something like this, for like, it's something that does seem relatively minor, and if they're gonna build a house on it, they have to come ask first anyway. And they have to build it in a safe place that's not in a wetland, right? I mean, they can't build it in a wetland. They have to build it near a road, they have to build it XYZ. So why do we right now have to tell them what's eligible for building if they're just currently transferring ownership of a piece of land?
Can you see the wetland map here?
yes,
Yes,
Okay. This is the barn, so it looks like we've got,
Before we get to the nitty gritty of that, can we answer my?
yeah. I think the only reason that I would say is because that's what our law right now says. So I think we could adjust the law,
To be
or we can say that we can't adjust the law, the
Right,
board would
yeah.
have to adjust the law.
Literary read.
Right, exactly. Or Bob can say to people, you can ask for a waiver of certain things.
exactly.
And that's the thing that can be done, is ask for a waiver and we can answer those. But if this is a minor adjustment thing that comes up frequently, I think it's worthwhile for the board to consider adjusting the law.
Okay.
On the other hand,
Mhm.
I feel that no matter what comes in front of us, or what they're doing, when we say that X amount of territory on that piece is buildable,
Mhm.
then that we're not saying what you can or can't do. We're saying this is what can be buildable. So now that's done. Next time this guy passes away, this guy takes it. He already knows without going back through all this, that this is what's buildable on this piece of land.
That's,
This is the space that I can use to
That's
do
correct.
whatever I wanna do.
I think,
So-
yeah. So you're providing something for the future. I think that's generally true, except unless there's flood map changes, would be the real change that would come through.
Right.
And if the federal government decided that, or the DEC regulations changed in some kind of way about wetlands. But other than that, you're providing some certainty to future buyers.
Yeah, I'm just saying, the first time it comes in front of us,
Mhm.
and that's done, then we don't have to do it again.
Right,
And so on and so forth down the road,
right.
no matter how many times it changes hands.
A lot of stuff is done.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
I had a conversation with the DEC about this today, and these maps, they feel are pretty accurate, but they do change over time. And if anyone wants to do construction close to that area, then I have to require an engineer's report to determine where the floodway or floodplain is. So we don't want to tell them where they can build. We just say you can't build in a floodway, any place that's illegal. If you point to a place and say, yes, you could be liable in the future if they can't build there, and you told them they could.
I was just sort of broadly hoping that we wouldn't have to debate this, but is there a legal distinction between we're telling people where they can build or we're telling people where they cannot build? Is there a genuine difference there, or is that semantics? Because it feels instinctively to me that it's more sensible to say where somebody can't.
I agree. I
Yeah.
completely agree.
But isn't it kind of the same thing? If I tell you that you can't build anywhere except on this table, then what I'm saying is you can build on the table.
Yes, I think that that's true. I think it's worth, if the board wants to, clarification through an attorney. But I agree.
Yes, that's been told.
But I think if we say these are the non-buildable areas, these are the flood, we don't even have to say non-buildable. We have to say this is the floodplain.
Yeah.
This is the whatever. Those are essentially non-buildable areas. Which makes a lot more sense to me than what Nan was
Then here's the
describing
envelope
as
for
here's the
how to
envelope
build
where
it.
you can build.
Yeah.
Because as you say, that can change. A stream changes course, it can change.
Yeah, and we can say that this is based on a floodplain map of.
On such and such a day, yeah.
Exactly.
Do you have an opinion on can't versus can?
What's that?
Do you have an opinion on whether or not we should say where they can build versus where they can't? Do you think it makes a difference?
I think the only thing we can tell them is where they can't.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So that's fine. For the record, that's us all disagreeing with Ann on her
Exactly.
interpretation of it. So that, as Bob was saying, it is possible.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what I think we have decided at this point, without a vote, I'm at least nods. We have a motion to say that this is a minor subdivision, that we need to have a sketch plan review, and that we can look at the materials if we get them in 2 weeks, and that the owner can ask us for a waiver.
Any parts of those,
And could ask us soon, so that when we get to this sketch plan review, we'd be ready to do it.
when we do the sketch plan review, that's when we can review the waiver request.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they haven't submitted a 2-foot, ground levels, then and they ask for a waiver, and we say that's fine, then they
Right.
don't have to submit it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So does that seem, so that's the motion. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Thank you. That's Jack. Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. No opposed? That carries.
And now we have to apologize for the DeWitts.
Yes. Hello, DeWitts. So we're going on to the second one, and here is the second one. And that is, and I'm not going to stamp anything on that because, so this is a sketch plan review on Baylor Road Extension, which makes it very fancy because that's kind of where I live almost. So, okay, so,
You want one more?
yeah, there's plenty.
Thank you.
Okay, so Bob, you want to take us through this?
Well, as I remember, you've got the DeWitts are separating their land, so Mr. Lackey can build a house there. And there's plenty of room. Wetlands really aren't an issue. There's a pond on the property. I think you've got
So-
elevation and everything you need.
Right, so the parcel A would be retained by the DeWitts and parcel B would be conveyed.
Mhm.
Okay,
Or subdivided.
or subdivided, yes. And
It's a simple split.
the DeWitts would keep 3 existing development units and parcel B would get 4 existing development units.
Now, this feels to me, and this is where this gets thorny, this feels to me like it's a lot line, because we're taking a lot and I know I'm oversimplifying it, but we're just drawing the line, right?
But this is a legal lot.
So
Yes,
we're
road ac-
technically
yes,
subdividing
road
it the same
access
way
is-
that we were for the other thing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's
It
created,
has road access, it's over 3 acres.
Yeah,
It
okay.
definitely is a
Okay,
for subdivision.
Yeah.
okay,
okay, and so
This, maybe, but
the new buyer has an ability to come in off of Baylor Road if he or she wants to build something in the future. Baylor Road Extension.
Baylor Road Extension, yes.
Okay. And so we have a short environmental assessment form here, and I can go through that with people. That says, it's David Lackey who is applying. And so does the proposed action only involve the legislative adoption of a plan? No. Does the proposed action require a permit? Or funding from any other government agency? No. The total acreage of the site of the proposed action is 10.5 acres. The total acreage to be physically disturbed is 0.5 acres. What's the physical disturbance?
Earth
we don't-
movement.
building a house.
Oh, okay. The
But
total,
we're just doing a subdivision.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't get it. It says 0.5. Total acreage owned or controlled by the applicant or project sponsor, none right now. check all land uses that occur on, so it's rural, non-agriculture at the moment. There's no agriculture going on in this area at the moment, right?
That's right.
Yep. Is the proposed action a permitted use under the zoning regulations? Yes. Is it consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan? Yes. Is the proposed action consistent with the predominant character of the existing built or natural landscape? Yes. Is the site of the proposed action located in or does it adjoin a state-listed critical environmental area? No. Will the proposed action result in the substantial increase in traffic above present levels? No. Are public transportation services available at the site? Oddly, no. Are any pedestrian accommodations or bicycle routes available on or near the site? No. Does the proposed action meet or exceed the state and energy code requirements? Yes. Will the proposed action connect to an existing public-private water supply? No. Existing wastewater facilities, utilities? No. Does the project site contain archaeological sites with the National or State Historic Preservation? No. Is the project site located in or adjacent to an archaeological site with SHPO? No. Does the portion of the site adjoining the proposed action contain wetlands? Yes. Would the proposed action physically alter or encroach into any existing body or wetland or water body? No. Typical habitat, there's nothing
We should check something.
checked there. So what should be checked? It's shoreline forest, agricultural grasslands, early mid-successional wetland, urban, suburban. I think that's,
Has this had any farming done, Becky, on it?
Well, it's old agricultural land that's returning to forest.
So it's really mid-sus.
yeah, I think it's early mid-successional.
Yep.
Does the site of the proposed action contain any species of animal or associated habitats listed by the state as threatened or endangered? No. Is the project located in the 100-year floodplain? No. Will the proposed action create stormwater discharge either from point or non-point sources? They have marked yes. And then it says, will the stormwater discharge flow to adjacent properties? No. Will stormwater discharges be directed to establish conveyance systems, runoff and storm drains? No. There's no drainage up here except that it goes to the back of the property. That's essentially what would happen. Does the proposed action include construction or other activities that will result in the impoundment of water? No. Has the site of the proposed action or an adjoining property been the location of an active or closed solid waste management facility? No. Has the site of the proposed action been the subject of remediation? No. So that's the short environmental assessment that's been put in. And Mr. Lackey also submitted for a minor subdivision, has an agricultural data statement that says it's within an agricultural district and it's 10.59 acres and it's purchased to build a residential building. He's also submitted the maps and the abutting parcels. There are 4 abutting parcels. And he submitted a sketch plan of a home.
Right.
So
So I have just a question on the ag data statement. So one of the neighbors is, where's the list of neighbors?
did I just put this back in?
You just took it.
Here it is.
Deanna English,
Yep.
and she has a native species farm. It's a nursery.
Oh, yes, it's true.
So I don't know if that qualifies as a quote unquote farm, but
I would think so.
So if it did qualify as a farm, what would change?
she'd have to write them, they have to write their name, and I think, and then Deanna has to be contacted.
Great.
Okay.
You might
Deanna
Look-
knows about it.
The definition, I don't have the code book with me, but if you look up agricultural, you don't have a book with you. It usually, the definition says growing crops for, consumption or sale. And they are growing plants, the shrubbery and that kind of thing. So I don't, I guess you call it agriculture.
Okay.
There's more to that definition than what was just read, because there's a $10,000 gross sales.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
Yeah,
I would believe that she would qualify for
And
that,
the
but I don't know.
definition in our zoning law is comprehensive.
okay, so, Bob, will you contact Deanna, and if that's the case, include her name on this agricultural form?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they are, but I will talk to them tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds good. With that, yep,
Did you want to do the part 2 and 3?
I did, I didn't see it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
So here's the part 2 and 3, and which we get to fill in, which is the exciting part. Okay.
Go for it, Gene.
Okay, so will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? No.
Agreed.
Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of the land?
No.
No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic for mass transit, biking, or walkway? No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private waterways, wastewater treatments? No. No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna? No. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No.
No.
Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No. So then it's check this box if you have determined based on the information and analysis above and any supporting documentation that the proposed action may result. It doesn't. Check this box if you have determined that the proposed action will not result in any adverse thing. And then I'll fill this out and have it here.
Can you make the negative declaration?
Yes, we're making an equity, and we have to vote on that, don't we?
We do.
So I am making a motion that we have a negative declaration.
I'll second that motion.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. It's passed. There's no one else to vote no. Okay, I think we have all the information.
So we have to get a 239,
Yes,
a 239 from the county. And then we could move to do something next month.
yeah. Good,
Publish the.
okay. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if you're Mr. Lackey. Are you Mr. Lackey?
He's muted.
I read his lips. He said, yes, I am.
Well, hello, I will be a neighbor of yours. I live on Baylor myself.
Very nice to meet you.
Meet you
Yeah.
too. I'm Jean McFeeters, and when you build your house, we'll say hi.
Right.
Okay, good. With that,
I do want to mention I met with Deanna today, Rob, and
Oh, good.
and I've kept her posted of our progress and work. So
good.
Yeah.
So
She's
then,
just-
I'm not
Very
expecting an
helpful, yeah.
issue, it's just, we should have done all our
Right.
parts together. So
yeah. So if she indeed does meet that $10,000 thing, then we'll add her name to your ad statement.
okay.
That piece of paper. That sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, great. I don't think we have to do anything else here, except that we'll now put this on the agenda for next month.
And set the public hearing.
Set the public hearing. Yes, we'll have a public hearing on this next month.
Yeah.
And we're setting a public hearing for the other property as well.
No, we're not.
Oh, we're not having a
We
public
haven't
hearing.
had
We're just having a
sketch
sketch
plan
plan review. Never mind, I'm out of my mind.
That's
I
gonna
was-
take-
Conflating times.
So that public hearing will be at the start of the meeting?
Yes, next month at 7 a.m., 7 p.m. I don't want to be here at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
It's a really unattractive time of day. Okay, so I think the work part of the meeting is done. We're gonna have some discussion about checklists, et cetera, and then I think we're done for the day.
We're pretending that's not work.
Yes, that's not work.
Okay.
That's just discussion.
Oh.
So thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for all the paperwork.
Yeah, this was a very smooth. Thank you, Mr. Lackey and DeWitts. That was very complete. So.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Great.
You're welcome. Yeah, I've learned a lot about the area, the environment, and the agricultural history. So thank you.
Nice.
David has really been the mover and shaker behind getting all the parts in place. So I give him all the credit in the world.
All right.
Good.
And Bob was very helpful too. I want to say that in terms of giving me the outline and following the forms and things. That was extremely helpful. So
I think you're moving to a good neighborhood.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so. My daughter lives in the neighborhood, so
Yeah.
okay.
Good.
Okay,
so-
I'll sign off now, I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just mention, I've been away for most of May, but I did dig through my emails. I got a reply from Abigail Connor at the county today. So she gave me the draft for review for this 239 exemption agreement that we've been,
Oh, working on it.
That's a town board action.
it's a town board action. But I will share it with you. But yeah.
So then we wouldn't have to go to the county all the time for a 239 thing.
Pretty small.
Minor subdivisions would be exempted.
Nice.
Lovely.
Yeah, great.
So it's in progress. And
They're probably very happy about that.
that way.
That's somewhat happy.
Don't let anyone say that we don't try and cut red tape when we can.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's
this is right there.
It's just a little bit.
Okay, so Bob, I have to stamp these maps and sign this thing for the Lackey property.
No, just
Not
against
yet.
that.
Not yet.
Next month.
Next month.
Next
Don't
meeting.
I don't have to sign the one for the environmental assessment? I do.
Yeah.
Let's hold the public hearing.
Minor subdivision maps get signed by the clerk, no?
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
I have to, and I don't have to sign this short form until next month.
No, you're done with that now. So you can sign that and that goes into
I
the.
do have to sign this one.
That's
Yeah.
in.
I'm gonna do it.
You completed that action.
Okay. And the lead agency
You don't
is,
have to, but we're asking you.
I'm gonna. You just can't even stop me.
Mine, just initially.
Okay. Because it says I'm a responsible officer and I feel
Oh,
so much better about myself then. Exactly. You know, I'm still trying to get things for my resume. Um, I sometimes run into people in their 70s who are building their resume. I'm like,
Yeah, you just can't stop.
get over yourself.
There's absolutely no reason for it.
I know.
Yeah.
Heavens.
When I knew it, I pull out.
Okay, so that's done. Okay, so these I will leave. And we'll put all of these in here. So, so Bob, all I wanted to say was thank you for pulling together a checklist. And thank you for adding some things to the checklist. That was really helpful, I think.
I just pulled them from the laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really useful. And I also wanted to tell people that I had met with Catherine and what is her?
Kai.
Kai. I look at it and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say Kay or Kai is my problem. Kai.
Catherine Goldberg?
Yeah, her
Kai.
Kai.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, okay. So basically their questions were very much about that in the record that's there, when people, for instance, submit, when like Mr. Ogden submitted his paperwork,
Okay,
she said that there were some things on there that weren't quite right. Like he didn't list agriculture as a use and a couple of other things. And we had corrected those during time. However, the documents that are still on the site are the original documents that come up.
okay.
So that was one of her questions, is how does that, if someone's trying to look back in the future, what happens?
No, that's just,
And I said, I don't know, and I will try to find out and let you know. And then the other questions that she had were, the way the land is, there's a kind of a driveway that would get to where you might put a house on that property at some time. But the driveway is partially on her property. Because they bought a lot of their property from Mr. Ogden.
okay,
So,
that's a tricky one.
and I said, well, if someone were to build and they put in a,
Driveway?
well, they can't put in a driveway without, they can't just build something without coming back and putting in a building permit. Right?
Right.
They can get access to that road without getting a permit from the county to have road access.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I explained to her that it's a county road, which would mean that the county would have to say, it's okay to have to put a driveway in here. I mean,
Okay.
But they have to also get the Goldbergs,
and then they would have to get permission from the Goldbergs,
because it's on their land.
because it's on the
Yeah.
it's on
An easement or something, right?
yes, they could get an easement,
Yeah.
or they could buy the piece of property. I mean, Catherine said it's crazy the way he created
Yeah.
the land that they bought. It didn't make any sense, but it was offered for sale and they bought it.
Uh-huh.
So I think her worry was that someone would sort of come along and put in a house and use their driveway for it without anything happening. And I explained that couldn't happen. But that,
And there's an existing trail on the map, and I went up and looked at it. It was like a logging trail. I mean, you'd have to put culverts or a bridge or something. It would need a lot of engineering and money, but
yes,
it's possible. Yeah.
yes, but yeah, it's still on her property. So,
No, it's not on her property.
a piece of it, she said, is on her property.
A piece of the trail of the logging road. It doesn't look like that on the map, but
Bob, from your look, do you think the driveway there surely it can just be put on on the correct property, is
Sure.
that? Okay,
absolutely. But it's a matter of how much someone wants to spend on it. When I was in Cortland, someone legally built a building in the floodway. It was a lot of engineering and legal work. It's possible, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
see what you're saying. Yeah.
so I think that was just her concern, is sort of like, how does this work
Yeah,
in the future? And I tried to explain that it isn't like someone could just come up and drop in a house, though people
No.
have done odd things,
I can see why the question would come.
yeah,
I can too.
yeah, so
It'd be very profitable for her.
yes,
if they
okay.
had
Yeah, so that was what that all turned out to be, and I think the conversation was good, and we sort of just moved forward. I sent her,
Thank you for doing it.
oh, you're welcome, and I sent notes to her saying, this is what we discussed, and, if you have other questions, you can talk to Bob. But I think it was fine. I think they were happy to meet, and, so that was great.
That's great.
What else do we have to discuss?
Was there anything else coming out of Nan's,
Training.
training that we really feel that we need to make any changes in the law or anything about?
I don't know if there's any changes, but we waded into it
Yes,
on the first property,
right.
talking about where they can't build
Right.
versus
Yeah.
where they can build.
I agree. And I
Yeah.
think when you do some revisions to the law, that's a change that I would definitely make.
Okay.
That we're talking about, not the building envelope, but the building out,
Area.
the exterior, where you couldn't build. I would use that phrase.
Right.
Or where,
Well, the other thing that we brought up last month. And I know Mark's thinking about it because he said it was a political decision to say, you look at that parcel on the north side of Route 79, and half of it's in a floodplain.
Right,
We still give it the number of development units,
right,
even though you can't possibly build on it.
right,
So that's a little bit different case than the one we were just talking about ahead of that, which was somebody's given up 15 acres for a conservation easement.
right.
And now we're gonna let them build 15 houses right next to it?
No,
I mean-
but I'm wondering, the answer is that we might be allocating 15 development units, but that's really on them if they pissed away 10 of them. They can't build 15,
Well,
they're not allowed to.
That's right.
But
So
why,
it's-
yeah, but why would we even say that they have that?
Because otherwise I think we're making development units even more complicated than they are. They sort of exist. They're applied to space and they're applied to space and on these lots. And if you screw up your own sort of, when you subdivide it, if you put too many on one spot, that does not mean you can build 40 houses.
It's just potential.
But the point is that land was given up for conservation easement before we adopted the zoning. law.
Okay, yeah, so that's a
So
specific.
it wasn't like the land was available,
Right,
even though we weren't talking about.
Oh, so you're saying it should never have gotten that many development units in the first place?
Exactly.
No,
That's the problem.
that I think you're absolutely right about.
But that, I will remind you, I probably remember me saying this, this was a very thorough discussion by the zoning commission. It came up with regard, I believe, because the first rendition that was considered was to eliminate, basically
right,
not include non-buildable areas. And so then there was objection to that was considered, and so they said, okay, we'll just make it the total area, and if they can, if they can apply that many development units within the confines or the directives of the zoning law, fine, but if not, so
it just, when you guys actually sit down and make some changes, it may be worthwhile having that discussion again, I
Sure.
think.
Sure.
Because there's less.
I totally get it.
And,
But I-
and see what had come up during the course of this. At the moment, we just have to do.
We get
what's in the law.
political or
We
not,
gotta do it
that's
to
that's what
laws.
politics is, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say, I mean, I can see what you're saying, yeah, I guess political, but philosophical difference in
Yeah.
how you look at it, but
But I don't wanna give I don't wanna give somebody all that extra, I think, Bob, it makes, or Don, excuse me, that makes perfect sense that if there's 100 acres and 68 of them are conservation, then you don't get to. If it was already a conservation easement, if you just got 100 acres, then
Right.
you get what you get. But if you had previously established that as conservation land, I do see your point, I don't see how that's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
I don't remember that part of the discussion coming up, that it was a previous thing. So,
Cause that seems to make all the difference.
yeah, to me, it does make all the difference, and it's worthwhile thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many of those there are in the town, for instance.
Well, I think we should try to identify the possibilities for land that's not developable, and then think about how we wanna word the law.
Mhm.
And I completely understand that if somebody does wanna do some development, they have to work within the zoning requirements, so I understand that. But if somebody puts a bunch of land into a conservation easement, the chances are they're not thinking that they're gonna have a huge development right next to
Right,
it. Because then you've got people wandering around on this land that's supposed to be quote unquote conservation easement,
sure.
doing who knows what.
Yeah.
With their plants.
Well, on the other hand, they might be just thought experiment, they might be thinking, which I think the one, I won't name it, but the one property owner we were dealing with, I think he was thinking of like a focused, village community
Right.
with a lot of open space nearby.
Which is the flip side of that is that I think there's a compelling case to be made if you're making conservation easement next to development. Like the boys, like think about Boyceville a little
Yeah.
bit, that sort of
Yeah.
area they have that's nice, like it was really nice living there to have that. And I know it's intrusive and it's not, you know, like, it's not perfect for the environment, but it was great for the humans that lived in the environment.
Yeah,
That's
And
right.
so I think there will be cases where if you take 100 acres and they make 70 of them into a conservation easement, it's because for those 30 acres, those people have 70 awesome acres.
Yeah.
Which is Lord.
Yeah, and we have the conservation development in our law,
right,
which addresses that.
Right, but that's what, I mean, when I was grappling with this when it came up, and I was going back and forth, yeah, but the provision of the conservation development provision is that you set aside 50% of the
Yeah.
land as open space. So if you previously set it aside, why would you, it seems like that should be eligible to be that 50% open space, and you should get credit for, you know, like
Those
100% of
spaces
the land giving, defining your development units.
mhm,
So yes,
So that's what,
It would make sense if you had the water supply to handle that
understood,
stuff.
that's,
And
that's a separate
we don't
issue.
up there.
Understood, but
Yeah. So
if
whenever you do
possible.
with the conservation easement, you have a plan. You're looking at the land you have, you're looking at the availability of water, you're looking at the access to roads, you're looking at all that to make that plan.
right,
Right,
If you've just given 15 acres to the land trust,
right,
and you didn't have any other plans for the property other than, I just gave 15 acres to the land trust, then you haven't done any planning. So it all becomes haphazard. And isn't that what we're supposed to be working on, is not having haphazard?
right,
Yeah,
but, yeah. I still don't see why that, I mean, argues against what I'm saying, that, you know, say, you should get to apply. You know, I can go either way on this, and I'm open to it, but I see the fairness of someone who's previously set aside
Yeah, no, I
land
do too.
getting to use that as their 50%.
They want to be more really dense
Allocation.
in what they've got left.
Yeah,
They've already given
exactly.
70% of the rest of it,
Yeah.
open space, so let them be real dense.
Yeah.
And that's how you get different pockets of.
and build
people.
townhouses or something.
Right, and
Yeah.
that's how you get
Yeah.
diverse spaces where people have different renting options, people have different housing options, like, that's how you avoid mono housing or whatever,
Yeah.
if you will. Even if it's ugly, and we might not look like it, but.
the one we were talking about now on Route 79, they have a couple hundred feet that they can do along the road. And that's where all the development takes place.
Right,
So if you go down Route 79, you don't see that type of development. It's not in the quote unquote character of the community, but it would be with that lot.
but the hard part is at the end of the day, Boyceville wouldn't be in the character community either, and I have my qualms about it, but I also think it's quite lovely in its own way as a place to live, so.
It
like,
is now.
Right, and now it's also now traditional for us to have something like that, right? So like
Yeah.
but on this, in this logic, we would have shut that down, and
They wouldn't have been allowed.
right, so that's, it's not, I mean, there's
We don't have
something.
enough water.
Yeah, well, actually, I think we tried very hard to build into the law when we were writing it, that someplace like Boyceville could be built.
I thought it
Very hard.
would be allowed.
It would be allowed,
Yeah,
Okay.
it has a lot of open space.
It has an open space.
The, whatever you call them, the wetland areas for the
Right.
water.
Yeah,
control,
the retention
water
ponds.
Control, yeah,
Yeah.
those would apply.
Right. The dog parks,
Yep,
so,
The community was lovely, it was just lovely to have people around like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's the requirement that you have to have a dog.
Yeah, my favorite was
what?
I've done during there, to get signatures. I swear to God, everyone has a dog.
Oh, everything.
It's like a requirement.
So coming from the Hudson Valley where you couldn't have a dog anywhere.
Really?
Anywhere, and you would go from 150 options on Zillow to 15, okay, and so I move here, and we're looking for places, and it says the only rule about dogs is you can't have more than 3. You know? Here's my credit card.
And
Oh, you want me
and
to
you must,
three
and you
dogs?
must have one.
That's it. The only rule, you can't have 4. And I bet you they'd be flexible.
I think they'd be flexible. It was, yeah, it's very crazy going door to door there, because you knock on the door and you get.
It's all coming through the window.
Exactly.
He's still just happy to see you. It's not
Yeah.
bad.
And no one, I never had a nasty dog. They just bark a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, well, that was all I had. Does anyone have anything else? So our next meeting is in July. And I think it's the Monday
Why
after.
don't you call me at 6:45 instead of at 7:09? It's like.
Try to get here by 6:50.
Just get ahead of this.
It's more dramatic this way.
I have a calendar on my fridge. That's not the problem. The problem is here.
Okay, so our next meeting is July 6th.
Six.
I have a calendar on the fridge that says that this meeting is happening. Like, I was near the calendar.
July 6th, 7 o'clock.
Alexa does that, right? Can we put Alexa in everyone's house?
Oh,
Alexa talk to you?
Bezos into every American household. Is that in the zoning law?
She knows all,
Yeah.
knows all.
She's
And if
never
she-
not listening, correct?
Yeah, and Alexa and Siri talk.
Yeah, the more I know, all the cybersecurity people I know have absolutely nothing in their houses like that. They have landlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that right?
Oh, yeah, the people that know what those things can do have none of it in their house.
Yeah.
I have a friend who has a stove
Right.
that has Bluetooth in it. An
In
oven.
case you wanna play Bad Bunny through the stove.
What? You know, and you can't, there's one feature of the stove that you can't use unless you operate the Bluetooth.
That's dystopian.
Oh my God. Isn't that
That's a
weird?
hellscape.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, years ago, I wouldn't buy a stove. I went to, I don't know, one of the stores downtown to buy a stove. And it had on it these buttons that said, like, you, instead of having to set the temperature and stuff, you could push for certain things. It was pizza, chicken nuggets,
Yeah.
and some other wretched thing. And I said, I like the stove. I can't have that.
Right.
I want the version that doesn't have that. And they said, oh, no, people love that. And I
No,
said,
they do.
I don't love that. I can't have that. That
That's
is just,
3 food.
that is just the complete dumbing down of America. I can't have that. And they said, well, it doesn't come any other way. And I
Oh,
said,
there you go.
I'm not buying it. And then one guy said, you could just cover that with black tape.
My brand new oven.
With a black paint spray can.
It's like, no. And I think, I mean, I could see as I was leaving that they were saying, she's just some uppity person.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
He probably lives on top of Bill.
I did not want a button that said, I just was
No, I
like,
know, I'm with you.
it was
I get it.
appalling. It was just completely appalling. I was,
With pizza and chicken nuggets, what's the third?
I can't remember what the third one
Fries.
was.
I have a question. Should we adjourn the meeting?
Yeah,
yes,
can
we
we
can.
adjourn? Thank you.
Yes, thank you,
God,
bye.
There was another person on this call.